Welcome to the fascinating world of mirrors with The Story of Us. I'm your host, Madison Reed, and let's begin exploring mirrors, where reflection meets mystery and where humanity's oldest questions about identity, soul, and the supernatural converge in the most unexpected ways. We're talking about sacred artifacts, supernatural gateways, and mystical tools that have captivated civilizations for millennia. You've probably heard that breaking a mirror brings 7 years of bad luck. But have you ever wondered why? What is it about these reflective surfaces that has made cultures across the globe believe they hold power over our souls, our futures, and even our connection to otherworldly realms? Today, we'll uncover the dark secrets behind history's most mysterious mirrors, from ancient burial chambers to Renaissance courts, from Aztec temples to Victorian séance rooms. Love stories where history meets the uncanny? You're in the right place. Dive deeper with Skoob, the AI-powered podcast app with short, binge-worthy episodes that spark curiosity. Available now on the App Store and Play Store. Let's start with perhaps the most fundamental belief about mirrors, that they somehow capture or reflect our very souls. Picture this. You're a member of a South American tribe centuries ago. You approach a still mountain lake, and as you peer into the water, you see not just your face, but what your people believe is your soul looking back at you. This wasn't mere superstition. It was a profound spiritual understanding that reflections were intimately tied to the essence of who you are. This belief wasn't isolated to the Americas. In ancient Greece, seeing your reflection in water was considered an omen of death. Think about that for a moment. Something as simple as glimpsing yourself in a pond could be seen as a prophecy of your doom. This fear was so ingrained that scholar James Frazer suggested the famous myth of Narcissus, the beautiful youth who fell in love with his own reflection, might actually be a reinterpretation of an ancient legend about death through reflection. But the story gets darker. Early Christian thinkers like Tertullian viewed mirrors as literal tools of temptation and sin, devices of the devil himself. This terror of vanity manifested in some truly haunting medieval and Renaissance artwork, where women admiring themselves in mirrors are depicted with sinister figures lurking nearby. Skeletons, devils, death itself waiting in the shadows. Oscar Wilde captured this perfectly centuries later in The Picture of Dorian Gray. While Dorian's mirror showed his eternal beauty, his portrait revealed the grotesque truth of his moral corruption. Each sin was etched not in the glass, but in the painted canvas that held his true soul. But not all cultures feared mirrors. In China, these reflective surfaces served as powerful protective talismans against evil spirits. Chinese Taoists would carry hand mirrors when venturing into mountains, using them to expose the true forms of demons and malignant entities. The logic was brilliant. While immortals would maintain their human appearance in the mirror, deceptive creatures would reveal their ominous true forms. These mirrors weren't just tools. They were symbols of truth itself, with an almost divine ability to reveal the essence of beings. In Chinese tradition, hand mirrors symbolized marital happiness and were thought to promote truth in relationships. Perhaps most fascinating is how mirrors accompanied the dead. Chinese graves are filled with bronze mirrors, placed there not as mere adornment, but as tools to maintain purity and protection in the afterlife. A copper mirror discovered in an Egyptian mummy's burial site suggests a similar function, possibly sealing the soul itself. Even Bronze Age Cycladic pots, used as primitive water mirrors, have been found in graves across the Mediterranean. In Madagascar and Serbo-Croatia, mirrors were placed on graves of those who died young, possibly to ensnare the soul's reflection and prevent it from departing the tomb. Imagine that. Mirrors as supernatural anchors, holding spirits to the earth through their own reflected image. Now, let's talk about something that might blow your mind. The connection between mirrors and fortune-telling runs so deep, it's literally embedded in our language. The English word speculate comes from the Latin specere, meaning to look at. And speculum? That's another Latin word for mirror, derived from the same root. This isn't coincidence. It reveals an ancient understanding that reflection and foresight were intimately connected. According to the Penguin Dictionary of Symbols, the Latin word for mirror was directly related to scanning the skies and observing star movements. The root for star, sightus, gives us consideration, which etymologically means to observe stars collectively. Think about that. Our very concepts of contemplation and reflection are bound up with celestial observation through mirrors. This wasn't just linguistic coincidence. Central Asian shamans historically used mirrors to read the future by directing them at the sun and moon. They adorned their garments with mirrors, much like the stereotypical image of a gypsy fortune teller we might picture today. One of the most intriguing historical accounts involves Pythagoras himself, who allegedly used a mirror for prophetic purposes, reflecting it toward the night sky to foresee the future. Even Muslim literature is filled with stories of magic mirrors that enable users to perceive events across time. And who could forget the most famous oracle mirror of all? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Snow White's stepmother wasn't just seeking validation. She was consulting what the story presents as a genuinely oracular device, capable of revealing hidden truths. But mirrors weren't just for seeing the future. They were gateways for summoning beings from other realms entirely. Medieval grimoires contained detailed instructions for what were called mirror experiments. Take the Mirror of Florin. This had to be crafted on the first hour of a Friday during a waxing moon. The artisan had to remain chaste for 9 days, stay clean, and wear fresh clothes. The summoning words were supposedly of ancient Chaldean origin, and once successful, the night spirit would initially respond to questions in writing, later speaking verbally during the day and through dreams at night. Even more sinister was the first Mirror of Lilith, devoted to the ancient Hebrew demon and her followers. The master would instruct these demons to appear in non-threatening forms and answer questions about theft, murder, and other dark matters. The text warns that Lilith should appear in her true form, not as ravens, and she would manifest in the mirror with 2 or more servants. One particularly elaborate ritual required the master to retreat to a secluded place during a conjunction of Venus and Jupiter, equipped with lit candles and a polished steel mirror crafted under a specific moon phase. After drawing a circle and placing the mirror on wood shaped like a knife, the practitioner would ask God to make the mirror grow and glow. Success meant the mirror would appear to enlarge and brighten, with many figures appearing as if in a field. These weren't just superstitions. They were detailed, systematic practices passed down through generations of occultists and mystics. What's remarkable is how mirror divination spread across completely different cultures that had little contact with each other. In the Cairo Geniza, we find practices incorporating a diviner, a young boy or virgin girl, a mirror, and a demon named Apulis. This tradition spread across Western Europe, the Byzantine Empire, China, and India, suggesting either a common origin or an archetypal human fascination with reflective divination. One of the most fascinating accounts comes from Kurdir, the imperial high priest of the Zoroastrian faith during the early Sasanian Empire. His rock-cut inscriptions detail how he encouraged boys to have visions on his behalf while gazing into reflective surfaces. Kurdir called this a mirror rite, or reflection formula, through which children could see representations of the afterlife, complete with demons and psychopomps. In India, the earliest reference appears in the 2nd century BCE Buddhist Digha Nikaya, which actually forbade monks from practicing divination using mirrors. By the 7th century, complex rituals involving child clairvoyance and mirror divination were recorded in Hindu, Buddhist, and Taoist texts from Kashmir to Tibet, from northeast India to Japan. The consistency is striking. Across continents and centuries, humans independently developed the belief that mirrors could serve as windows to other realms, operated by specially chosen individuals, often children or virgins, who could see what adults could not. Our final story takes us to one specific mirror that embodies everything we've discussed: the Aztec obsidian mirror housed in the British Museum. This thick, dark, polished disc was crafted by the Aztecs from volcanic glass to honor their deity TEZCATLIPOCA, literally meaning smoking mirror. Obsidian forms when molten lava meets ice or snow and cools rapidly, creating a material that's glossy, brittle, and extremely hard, appearing black or dark bronze-green, with occasional golden or iridescent sheens from trapped gas bubbles. The Aztecs believed this mirror was a conduit to the supernatural realm, used for divination and spirit communication. But here's where our story takes a fascinating turn. This same mirror ended up in the hands of Dr. John Dee, the preeminent mathematician, astrologer, and advisor to Queen Elizabeth I. Sir Horace Walpole, who acquired the mirror in 1771, was convinced of its history. He inscribed on its label the black stone into which Dr. Dee used to call his spirits. Dee, a Cambridge graduate and the Queen's philosopher, extensively engaged in conversations with angels about the natural world and the apocalypse. He used this obsidian mirror, along with other shoe stones, as focal points for scrying, gazing into the dark, reflective surface to receive visions from other realms. Think about this journey, from Aztec temples where priests sought visions from Tezcatlipoca, to Elizabethan England, where one of history's greatest minds used the same artifact to communicate with angels. The mirror served as a bridge between worlds, between cultures, between the sacred and the scientific. Dee's story ends tragically. He died in disgrace and poverty around 1608, forced to sell his possessions, including his renowned library. In 1586, an angel had commanded him to burn all 28 volumes of his detailed spiritual records, just in time, as papal representatives were investigating him for witchcraft. The discovery of his obsidian mirror could have meant execution. So what do we make of all this? Are mirrors truly supernatural gateways, or are they simply powerful symbols that tap into something deep in human psychology? Perhaps the answer lies in what mirrors actually do. They show us ourselves, but reversed, creating a world that's almost identical to ours, but fundamentally different. In that uncanny space between reality and reflection, humans have always sensed something mysterious, something that speaks to our deepest questions about identity, fate, and what lies beyond the veil of ordinary perception. With mirrors, you're participating in one of humanity's oldest and most mysterious practices, the ancient art of looking beyond the surface into the depths of something far more profound. But wait, the story doesn't end here. There's more to mirrors than just seeing your reflection. To dive deeper into the depths of mysterious mirrors, download the Skoob app now, your AI-powered podcast companion for deeper thinking in minutes. Download the app from the App Store or Play Store and keep exploring.